Stop sounding like every other salesperson that's making calls out there. You need to establish yourself differently. The way that most salespeople approach sales calls is identical because we've all been trained by the same do-nothing sales manager. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to get past the gatekeeper, how to have a more meaningful conversation, and to stop sounding like you're selling something because nobody wants to buy something. They want a desire to purchase something. Watch this video and we'll have this conversation. Listen, the other day, I am in the office and the AC's out. It's a big problem that we got going on here at Apex HQ. We got a new one ordered, and in the meanwhile, it's a pain in the butt. And so we're all down in the conference room, and 5 or 6 of my sales guys are down here in the conference room, and I'm down there too because there's AC and it's a little warm in Texas, even for March right now. And I'm listening to one of my sales guys, and he's on a dialer. So first of all, good job for him. He's over there on a dialer, making his phone calls, doing the right thing. But he picks up the phone, and with everybody who answers, he says, "Hey, this is Chris over at Ryan Stewman's office. I'm just calling because you had entered your information into our website, and I'm calling to see what made you decide to reach out." Now, by the way, what made you decide to reach out, in my opinion, is the most powerful sales question on the planet. But the problem is every salesperson that calls a business or a consumer, that's how they announce themselves. That word track is so overly used that immediately when a salesperson starts to say that, the customer puts their guard up because they're like, salesperson alert. Now, I know where this comes from, right? What happens is a lot of us, when we go on our first sales job, our sales manager sits down with us and he trains us or she trains us. And that's what they tell us to say. Hey, this is Ryan Stewman over at Park Cities Ford. Hey, this is Ryan Stewman over at Willow Bend Mortgage. And that word track has been used since the dawn of sales and telephone, since Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone. And then a salesman figured out that you could use that telephone to make money from. And that original salesperson started saying, hey, this is Ryan Stewman over at Ford. And then that word track just stuck for the greater part of a century now. But what if I told you that was the worst way to start a greeting on a phone call, especially if you're cold calling someone in modern times? You see, here's what happens. People just get used to doing something and they never change. They never adapt with the times. You see, back in the day, just 10, 15 years ago, when a salesperson called somebody, they had to announce who they were. They had to say, hey, this is Ryan Stewman over at Ford, so that the person knew who they were because they didn't have any information on the prospect. These days, we got information on the prospect. We can look up their social media. We can Google their name. We can Google their business. We can actually get data from them before we actually go to have a conversation with them. It reminds me of a saying I tell my sales team all the time because salespeople are always trying to speed through the process, right? Hurry up and get a sale. Hurry up and get a sale. Hurry up and close a deal. But the truth is, I love this saying from the Navy, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. I learned this from Rob O'Neill one time. I actually was at an event he spoke at in 2019 on 9/11 of all days. If you don't know who Rob O'Neill is, he's the guy that killed Osama bin Laden. And Rob, he was talking about when you go through things, you want to go smooth because smooth keeps you from missing things. And when you don't miss things, you're actually going fast. If you go through smooth and you see everything, great. When you go through fast, then you got to go back. You got to go back again because you might have missed something. And so I use that same analogy in sales, right? Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. We want to go through the sales process slow so that it's smooth, so that it's fast. So how does that translate over? Instead of calling and going, hey, it's Ryan Stewman with Ford, what I like to do, and I learned some of this from a gentleman named Jeremy Miner, who I think is one of the better sales trainers that's out there today. He uses logic and emotion to sell things without being pushy, as opposed to going in there and being like some aggressive hardcore closer. And I know that's like, well, you're the hardcore closer, but not in sales, right? So what his method is, and what I really appreciate is, my method is to do a little research on your prospect first. So don't just blindly call somebody and not know anything about them. People love it when you know things about them. People love it when you pay attention to them. So why wouldn't you want to know things about your prospect and pay attention to them? So before we get into the process here, let's do the back end research first before we get into the selling process. But the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to Google them. You're going to Google their business. You're going to look at their LinkedIn profile. You're going to look at their Facebook profile. You're going to look at their Instagram. And look, all of this just takes 2 or 3 minutes. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast, right? So you're going to go slow through doing your due diligence on the prospect. Then when you approach the prospect, instead of calling them and saying, hey, it's Ryan Stewman over at Ford, how you doing today? Sounding like every other jerk-off salesman on the planet. What you're going to do is you're going to call and you're going to use this word track. Hey, is this John Smith? Yeah, who is this? This is Ryan. Are you still working for Ford? Yeah. What are you calling about? Like I said, my name's Ryan. And, I'm looking at your information here, John, and understand that you work over at Ford. And there was a period of time where you applied on one of our websites over here that you were looking for more information on how you could generate some more leads for your business over there at Ford's. But who are you with again? I'm with Ryan Stewman's office, the hardcore closer guy. You remember him? Oh, yeah, that guy. Yeah. Well, are you still located in Dallas, Texas? Yeah, I am. Okay, cool. Well, when you filled this out, did you get everything that you needed and that you were looking for, or are you still looking to solve the problem of looking for leads and so that you can close more deals? Now, all of a sudden, we've shown that we know who they are. We're familiar with them. We've interrupted the, hey, it's Ryan with Ford pattern that everybody else does. We've shown interest in them. They know that we've looked into them, know who they are, and do a little research. And here's the truth about prospects. People buy from people, they used to say people buy from people who they know, like, and trust. But these days, people buy from people who know who they are, who pay attention to who they are, and show interest in them, right? We live in the me economy. This isn't a time where it's all about you, the salesperson. It's all about them, the prospect. When people make a post on social media, they're saying, look at me, and most people don't look at them. When people carry on a conversation with their coworkers, most of the time the coworker's scrolling the phone or whatever, not paying attention anyway. When people get home and they talk to their spouse or their kids are on tablets, their husband is dialed into something else. Like, nobody pays attention or listens to anybody anymore. And in the me economy, if you pay attention to me, I'm more likely to hear you out because you might have been the first person to actually pay attention to me, and God knows how long. And so when I call and I'm like, is this John Smith? Yeah, who is this? This is Ryan. You still work over at Ford? Right? All of a sudden, I'm showing them that I'm familiar with who they are, that I know what they do. I know where they're located. Are you in Dallas, Texas still? Well, yes, why are you calling, right? That's what we want them to do. We want them to ask us why we're calling, so then we can say, well, I'm looking here at your information that you applied on one of our websites, because we do inbound leads here. You applied on one of our websites, and you were interested in generating more leads for your business. Did you get that problem solved, or are you still looking to solve that problem? Well, I could always use some more leads. What do you guys got going on? Now we're having a conversation that doesn't seem like a sales conversation. It's just a conversation about them, their best interests, demonstrating that we paid attention to it, and allows us to skip the guard being put up of, oh my God, protect myself, it's a salesman, and allow us to work that relationship to get a little closer to the sale. And now maybe they don't close on that first phone call. So the typical thing is when we're following up, here's what salespeople do. They follow up and they go, hey, John, it's me, Ryan, again, over at Ryan's office. Geez, that's what everybody says. It doesn't work. It's not it's effective, but it's not efficient. Okay, so I shouldn't say it doesn't work. It doesn't work like you think it is. It doesn't work like you want it to work. So instead, when you're following up, you follow up, you call me, you say, John, yes, who's this? It's Ryan. You still over there at Ford? Yeah, I'm still here. You ever get those leads you were looking for? Oh, man, I'm still looking. How long are you going to continue looking, man? Look, let me do something for you. Let me give you a free video on how to generate leads. I want you to watch that video, and I'm going to call you in 2 days to answer any questions you may have about the process so that we can make sure that you get dialed in. Is that okay with you? Yeah, you're going to give me a free video. It's going to help me solve the problem that I'm facing for free, and then you're going to follow up with me and help me solve that problem even more with any questions that I have? Absolutely. And so here's what happens. Now I'm buying permission. I'm getting their permission to follow up with them. And now all of a sudden I'm not selling something, I'm a resource for them. Hey, I've got a free video for you. Help you solve that problem. Watch it. I'm going to give you 2 days. AKA I'm setting a follow-up appointment. I'm gonna call you Thursday, 3 p.m. We're gonna spend 10, 15 minutes maximum, because I'm a busy guy, on the phone, and I'll answer any questions about the videos so that you can start generating leads. See, we call that results in advance. See, here's your problem. I've already recorded a video that solves that problem. I'm gonna send you the problem-solving video. I'm gonna set an appointment to follow up and make sure that you know you need to watch this problem-solving video within a period of time. And I'm very busy, so I don't have any other time available besides right then to answer your questions to help you make more money, more sales, whatever that thing you're selling is. Will that work for you? They'll rearrange their schedule for you. But see, now all of a sudden I've taken the normal sales procedure, the normal sales approach out of the entire equation. I've established myself differently. I've established that I'm paying attention to the prospect. I've established that I'm going to follow up with them. I've established I'm going to give them something that leads to results in advance. And that is the modern day sales winning formula. Too many people miss this. They're doing the same thing for a long time. Hey, it's Ryan over at Ford. How you doing? And they wonder why they're not making sales. They wonder why they're not increasing their number. They're wondering why they're not increasing their conversions. All these things that I just talked to you about will absolutely change the game for you. They'll increase your closing conversions. They'll increase your opportunities to get to talk to people. They'll decrease the amount of people that hang up on you because you sound like the same old salesperson since Alexander Graham Bell invented the phone, and it'll help you overall. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go execute on this. Save this video. I want you to go execute on this and try it. Don't knock it and go, oh, it's too simple. That's the biggest trick salespeople fall for, is they think that things are too simple, they won't work. But again, to go back to another naval phrase, keeping it simple sales. I know in the Navy they say keep it simple stupid, but I believe keeping it simple sales. And so go try this, watch it work for you, then come back and talk about your results in the comments of this video, because I like hearing you win. I want to see it work for you. I want my videos that you watch and implement to put more money in your pocket. I believe in the equation investment, which you've invested the time to be here. Investment plus action equals a return on investment. And since you've invested the time to be here, you owe it to yourself to take action so that you can get a return on that investment. And I want to know your story in the comments below. Looking forward to reading it. FYE.